for some folks, maybe it's easier for them to come up with that message or the message behind the message. But then there are another group of people that they feel there's something, but they're not quite sure what it is and how to get there. And it sounds like you've figured out a
Yeah.
way to find that out.
Yeah, I ask, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life? You know what I mean? Like, hey, tell me about the biggest pain in your life. Well, for me, it's the cancer story, right? But it's like, it's the same with me. Is like, I want to help inspire people to believe that they can do more than the expectations they walked in with. And for me, it's like, I thought I gave up on my dreams. I thought I'd never be an actor. I thought I would never be, a media personality. And it turns out that's exactly what I became. And I became that because my mom was a drug addict, because my dad was absentee, even though he was there. I never saw him as a kid. It was the pain that makes us great. And what we do is especially in America, we have this belief that our pain isn't good enough to be the story that motivates somebody. No. You got to be like an inner city kid arrested and gone to jail in order to be a story. Well, no, that's not your story, but that is someone's story. What we have to do is we have to tap into that hero's journey and go, what was I before? And where do I want to be now, or where am I now, depending on where you are in the journey, right? I often think of it as like a river, like a creek, right? And you're on this side of the creek now, and you cross the creek, and who are you then? The before state and the after state. And so I'm talking to my clients in what we call a blueprint call. And this is where we dive deep into their strategy. And it's like, tell me who you are, what your business does. Okay. All right. So now I understand your call to action, right? You want people to buy your thing or to invest in your program, right? Okay. Now, why? Why? Where are they now? And where do we want them to be? And that always comes from their personal story. So with Joanna, it was, and we had to wrestle through a little bit because she couldn't get pregnant. And then she did a procedure and got pregnant. And it's like, it's not your story though. That was kind of like, that's a later battle, right? That's the Battle of Hoth. Okay. But you're already Luke Skywalker at this point, right? How did you become Luke Skywalker? And that's how I learned that her dad came here on a boat. And it's like, that's the story. And, it's funny because there was a bit of shame wrapped up in it. Well, I don't want people to know that. Like, they're going to think we're dirty immigrants. And I would go, no, that's your story. That's your inner city kid story. So oftentimes, like, what it is the thing that we don't want to talk about. What I've learned how to do, because believe it or not, I did get a degree in media psychology. This is sort of what I've been trained in. So much of what we want to hear from people are the things they don't want to talk about. And, they don't make the connection, right? The lawyer who's doing immigration, like, he thinks it's all about them. Yeah-ish, right? But they got to connect to you first. There's a ton of immigration lawyers I can call. I can call any personal injury attorney lawyer. But the reason I call this guy is because he loves the movies. The reason I call this guy is because he's from Egypt. The reason I like this person is because they're way into family and kids, And it's those things that we look at that feel less unique, but are very unique to you. So it's not always the pain, it's just those things that are like, what are you all about?
Yeah.
That's what we try to pull out.